So we are here in OBS, and I'm just going to show you guys real quick how to set up your recording. Most of us are probably familiar with this, but on the left you've got scenes. Within your scenes you have sources. Within your scene you also have audio channels. Don't worry about scene transitions. We're never ever going to use those for recording. And then you have your control panel here for recording and so on and so forth. I made an example scene just by right-clicking, hitting add, creating a new scene, and I named it example. The first thing I did, and I did this before starting recording so you could see what I'm doing while I talk, is I added a display capture. And when you do that, it'll give you the option for which monitor you want to do. Just keep capture method on automatic. Make sure you capture your cursor. And I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need a duplicate display capture. I use display capture. Some people like game capture. I don't like dealing with game capture because sometimes it doesn't pick up the game right away. It does. Game capture will save a little bit on your CPU and GPU. So if you're strapped for processing power, game capture will help a little bit. Not a lot though. Display capture, like you wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now with display capture. Display capture is going to capture whatever is on this screen. So I could drag over Google, I could drag over Stream Deck, and I could do all these tutorials on how to do all this stuff with that. So that's why I use display capture. Okay, so you got display capture going. You're going to need an audio source. My microphone is obviously already in here, labeled SM7B. All desktop audio is already in here for me. I did that through settings, audio, and then I set these up ahead of time, I think. So you can see I've already got some things in here so that you can hear this recording. If you don't have your microphone in, all you have to do is add that as a source. Audio input capture, because your microphone is an input. And you can name this, like, I would name this something like Rob's mic, if this is Rob recording. Hit OK, and then you're going to make sure you select your device. So whatever your microphone is, like mine is analog 1.2 Focusrite USB audio. That's my audio interface I'm using. So I would select that and hit OK. And now you can see I've also got, I'm talking on 2 channels. Really important thing right here, if you are using a more advanced mic or a condenser microphone, I think the Yeti might be stereo as well. You can see on SM7B, I've got 2 channels of audio. And on Rob's mic, which is just a duplicate of mine, I've only got 1. And if I put that in a timeline right now, this audio would only be on the left speaker, and this audio would be on both. That's because microphones are what's called mono, 1 channel, or 1 input. And these are stereo channels, so it's looking for left and right. We can cheat it by right-clicking anywhere in the audio mixer, going to Advanced Audio Processes, and checking mono under Rob's mic. Now if I go back, you can see we've got even sides on both, and that's basically just going to duplicate the left to the right. The left channel to the right channel on the stereo channel here. So that might be a little bit confusing. Just know that if you're only seeing 1 side or 1 green bar instead of 2 on your microphone, Advanced Audio Properties, make sure mono is selected. You don't want to do mono on like your game, because then you won't hear when someone's coming up on the left side versus the right side, or you won't hear directional. But for microphones, it's a 1 source audio, so you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and delete Rob's mic because I don't need that. Okay, so we've got microphone input. SM7B is just the brand of my microphone. Desktop, sometimes OBS automatically pulls that in. If you don't have that, you're going to want audio output capture for that, because that is an output. You want to capture the sound that's coming out of your computer. So I would name this like desktop. Okay. And then you're going to select like your speakers. So my speakers are, again, through my audio interface, my Focusrite interface. And that's going to capture whatever is outputting from my computer. So this is going to capture Discord. It's going to capture game audio. It's going to capture, like, if I start playing, so if I hit cancel, if I start playing YouTube, you can see all desktop. This is just like an Eagles video. But you can see that my desktop channels were picking that up. I don't need that, though. Oops. So you want to make sure you're capturing desktop audio. We don't usually use that in editing, but it's a good backup, and I'll show you why when we get to audio routing. Just know that, like, once you've got your desktop channel, you've got your microphone set up, only a couple more things you need to do. The first thing you need to do is You need to go get this add-on for OBS called Wind Capture Audio. If you literally just type in Wind Capture Audio in Google, it's the top one. It'll take you to this obsproject.com page. Go to download, and then you're going to want to find the correct download. It's most likely going to be this one if you're on Windows. Wind Capture Audio beta setup.exe is what you want to look for. You don't need the zip. So you're just going to download this, and you're just going to run this program. I'm not going to do it right now because I already have it installed. Just let it install, default everywhere. Once that's installed, restart OBS. So just close out, reopen it. And what that's gonna do is give you now a new source option up here called audio or application audio output capture. And this is really kind of the game changer for recording. And I'm gonna label this, you can see I've done it before, game audio. And then it's gonna give you this window. Let me fire up a game real quick. All right, so I'm launching Dwarf Fortress right now. And you can hear the audio coming from the menu, that menu audio. I'm just going to minimize this right now because all we really want to do is hear this. You can see right now it's coming through on my desktop audio, but it's not coming through on game audio. And so once we add this, remember, you go add application audio output capture. I named that game audio example, and it's going to give you this window. Under session here, you're going to want to find the executable file for any application that you want to record. So we named this game audio. So I'm going to put dwarffortress.exe in there and hit add executable. And if I hit OK, now you can see that music is being recorded into game audio example. Separate from desktop, separate from my microphone, we now have a channel that's only recording game audio. Okay, so we can close Dwarf Fortress now, and that's what this game audio, that's what Wind Capture Audio is. It's going to capture the audio of a specific application of your choosing. The really cool thing about this Wind Capture Audio is it remembers the executables that you put in. So I can't do it right now because I'm not running Rust. But as I play games, I always just jump in here and add the executables. So on my local recording one, I've got like Dwarf Fortress, I've got Rust exe, I've got Sea of Thieves exe, I've got a Hell Let Loose exe, I've got all the games that I play and record, Arma 3 exe, everything is going to be in this executable file. And this source is going to know anytime one of those executable files is running, record that audio to this channel. Really, really powerful, free application add-on for OBS. It might actually work as an add-on for Streamlabs. I doubt it, but it might be worth trying. If you're just recording, I always recommend OBS over Streamlabs. So, okay, so now Rust is running, and I can go in here and you can see rustclient.exe. All I'm going to do is add that, and now Game Audio Capture knows. Add that. Now Game Capture Audio or Game Audio knows. It's going to listen for audio from Dwarf Fortress and Rust. The last thing you want to do for audio setup is do the same thing, add source, application audio output capture. And we're going to name this Discord example. Okay. And this one, we're just going to add the Discord executable. And now I have 4 channels of audio here in my audio mixer, as you can see. I've got my microphone, game audio, which is going to capture whatever game executable I put in here. I've got Discord, that is only going to capture audio from Discord. And I've got all desktop, which is going to capture anything coming from my desktop except my microphone. And that's just standard. So that's going to capture my game audio, whatever game I'm playing. It's also going to capture all Discord audio. It's also going to capture if I start playing something on YouTube. There you go. It's going to capture whatever my desktop's putting out. And this is what you want to see. 4 audio channels, 3 sources. A couple other things we have to do real quick. You need to go into settings, output, recording. And here are my settings, just so you can see what I have it on. You want to make sure you're doing, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, so if you have anything with like the 1070, 2070, 3070, or 3080, or I think they just released the 40 line now. Any NVIDIA graphics card is going to give you this NVENC H.264 option under encoder. Make sure you're on recording tab. Make sure output mode is advanced. Recording format, MOV or MP4 is fine. I do MOV. Either of those is fine. This NVENC H.264 by NVIDIA, this is really, really important that you select this. NVIDIA graphics cards have a built-in portion of them that is dedicated to streaming and recording. It's not used for anything else. So when you're playing a game, it's actually like segmented and not being used. So this is not going to pull, in theory, and I've seen that it doesn't really affect my gameplay at all. As long as you're using this, this is a compression and a packaging. This is just telling the computer or OBS to, hey, use the graphics card as opposed to the CPU. If there's a couple other options in there, there's 265. Don't use 265; it's too new. And there's X264. X264, I believe, is what it is. That's going to use your CPU, and especially when you're playing Rust. Rust is a really CPU-heavy game. So you really just want to use that segmented portion of your graphics card that is built for recording and streaming. That's what this is going to do. Audio track, really, really important that you set 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 through 4. So make sure those 4 are checked. You don't need 5 and 6 checked. And you can see we're not rescaling. We don't have to. Automatic file splitting, I do. I split by time, 30 minutes. And here's why. If I open this and I go to my record files, it's kind of annoying. Like here's my recordings from January 31st. Each one of these is about a 30-minute long clip. Makes it a little bit more annoying when I'm trying to find a specific spot. But when you're recording an MOV or MP4, which are the two most common and accepted recording formats for video editors, for uploading directly to YouTube or anything like that, these file types need to you need to hit stop recording for those file types to finish being made. What I mean by that is if your computer if you lose power and say you've got like a 6-hour recording going on, and all of a sudden your power goes out and you didn't get a chance to hit stop recording, that whole file's corrupt and gone. When you hit stop recording in OBS and you're recording to an MOV or an MP4, there is a final step of this recording format that packages everything nicely. That doesn't happen until you hit stop recording. So if OBS doesn't get a chance to hit that stop recording, you pull the plug on your computer, power goes out, for whatever reason, OBS crashes, that whole file, that 6-hour recording is ruined. That's happened to me probably 3 or 4 times. I've lost an entire recording because my power goes out or I turn my space heater on and I trip the breaker. So I split it by time. So if something does happen, this is automatically every 30 minutes, it's going to stop and start recording instantaneously. You don't miss anything. There's no jump in your footage. But if something does go wrong and my power goes out for a second, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to lose a 30-minute segment of my day of recording or whatever I'm doing. So I highly recommend everybody do this. This is just a fail-safe, and it's just a great thing to do. Okay, encoder settings. These are my settings. Feel free to copy these. These will be really dependent on what your computer can handle. CQP is good for recording. CBR and VBR is more for streaming. Lossless is the best, but you will murder your computer doing this. This means no compression, no making video files smaller. It's going to be massive video files and a massive tax on your computer. So CQB is the best for recording. CQ level, think of this like quality, but it's like golf. The lower the number, the higher the quality. Mine's at 25, and if you've seen any of the reels I make, like the quality is more than fine. It does look a little bit worse than when I'm actually gaming, but it's not noticeable. And honestly, it probably looks better than what most people are putting out on reels. So you don't have to go super low with this. But if your recordings are stuttering, this would be probably one of the first places to check that this number is not super low. Keyframe interval, don't worry about. Preset, obviously the slower you go, the better quality, but also the more taxing on your computer. Mine's set on good quality. And set these, and then just jump into Rust, jump on like the Hung 10X, record 30 seconds, and then play it back. And just make sure that the recording looks good. Just scroll around, make sure that like the grass looks good. Make sure when you're looking around fast, when you do quick mouse movements, that there's no blurring, there's no stretching or lines across the screen, like horizontal lines. You just want to make sure that it looks like a good, like almost like you're playing. This is probably the area that takes the most trial and error. The last thing you have to do is right click on audio mixer. Anywhere we're going to go back into those advanced audio properties. And here you should see your active sources. I might have, like, I got a ton of sources that I'm always just screwing with, but I only want to see my active sources on this scene. Never mess with the pan. No, unless you have a serious sync issue, don't do that. You're not really going to have a sync issue unless you're using a secondary computer. You don't need to monitor anything. Over here is where we want to look. So we're not recording 5 or 6, so you don't need any of that. We are recording. Remember, we set in audio in our settings under record to record 4 tracks of audio. So this final video is going to have 4 tracks. We want microphone. So if I unselect everything, microphone on channel 1 and 4. We want game audio on 3, or so Discord on 2, game audio on 3, all desktop on 4 as well. So what does this do? Track 1 is going to be, if you look vertically, track 1 is just going to be my microphone. Track 2 is just going to be Discord. Track 3 is just going to be game audio, whatever you put in this game audio capture. Remember, so right now track 3 is just going to be Dwarf Fortress audio and Rust client audio. Track 4 is going to be my microphone and all desktop audio. So game audio, Discord audio, YouTube audio, whatever, music playing from iTunes, whatever. So track 4 is our backup. If something goes wrong with WinCapture audio, which I've never experienced, or something goes super wrong with Discord, track 4 is always a backup that we can use that just has everything baked into it. And now I'll show you just real quick. I know this is getting long. I'll show you really quick how this looks in an editor. All right, we are now in our editor. I'm just going to drag in an old clip. I'll drag that same one in. If I drag this clip in, you're now going to see, even in the editor, it knows that there's 1 video clip and there's 4 audio clips. So when I edit, this is what I do. I do like mic, I do Discord, I do game audio, and then I do backup audio. And I always just mute backup unless there's an emergency and I need it. And now as we play through here, you can see over here, on all these channels, I've got Discord audio, I've got game audio, and I could turn game audio off. Just find a spot. There's Discord. I can adjust Discord. I could even go in and like EQ just Discord. You can hear me. That just helps editing. So like if one person curses or we need to censor something or someone in game chat is just going nuts, like we can go through and find the literal like waveform and like we can do crap like this and take that out and easily replace that with the greatest sound known to man and do something like this. Yeah, that's about it for OBS. Let me know if you guys have any questions.